Managing and organizing your files is a task you'll perform in almost every one of your command line sessions, likely multiple times per session. These are things you do routinely outside of the terminal. Things like making new folders, copying and pasting or moving files from one place to another, and deleting unwanted files. In this video, we'll take a look at 5 commands that help you do these sorts of things within the command line environment. Those commands are ls for list, mkdir for make directory, mv for move, cp for copy, and rm for remove. As we go through this video, I'll include an inset from a Finder window on my Mac that will provide a view that's likely a little more familiar to you and will hopefully help you better follow what's happening with each command. Let's start by opening up a terminal window and checking our working directory. At my prompt, I run the pwd or print working directory command. We've seen this one in previous videos. And it says I'm in a directory or folder named cl_practice, which is inside my home directory /users/subject.1. Right now, this is an empty directory. We can check to make sure with the ls or list command. This is another one we've already come across in a previous video. It's equivalent to double-clicking on a folder to open it up and see what's inside. Whether we use the command line or the point-and-click approach, we see here there's nothing in this current CL practice directory. So let's create a folder in there. We can do that with the mkdir command, which requires that we specify the name of the new directory we want to create. We'll call it new_folder1. When we run this command, we see the new folder show up in the inset and can use the ls command again to see it at command line. Let's make a second folder now. We'll call it new folder 2. As expected, we see both folders returned with the ls command. Next, let's create 2 more new folders. We'll call them sub1 and sub2, and we'll create them as subdirectories within new folder 2. There are a couple ways we can do this. We could use the cd or change directory command to move into new folder 2, and then use the mkdir command just like we did previously to create the new folders. Instead, we'll just provide the relative path to where we want the new folders to go. In addition, we created the last 2 folders one at a time, but this isn't necessary. We can do it all on one line by passing multiple folder names with each separated by a space. Notice that if we run the ls command again like we did before, we don't see the 2 new folders. That's because they are in the new folder 2 directory and not in the CL practice directory we're currently in. One way to see them is to specify the new folder 2 directory in the ls command. Now, let's say I wanted to create a new folder with 2 subdirectories all at the same time. I might try something like mkdir space new folder 3 /sub1 space new folder 3 /sub2. However, this doesn't work. It returns an error because new folder 3 doesn't yet exist. In this case, the -p argument to mkdir can be used. It allows you to create multiple levels of directories all at one time. Now, let's say we wanted to copy new folder 2 along with its contents and paste it inside new folder 1. cp is the copy command and works just like right-clicking on a folder, selecting copy, and then pasting it where you want to put it. The copy command requires 2 arguments to be passed to it in a specific order: the path to the thing you want to copy, here, new folder 2, and then the path for where you want to put it, new folder 1. There are additional optional arguments too, and we'll look at one of those shortly. When I run this copy command, I get an error that says what I'm trying to copy, new folder 2, is a directory, and so the copy wasn't done. This is because by default, CP is set up for copying files, not directories. Adding the -R argument, think recursive copy, instructs the copy command to copy a folder and all of its contents. Have a look at what happened here, as it demonstrates an important subtlety with the cp command when working with directories. The command ran without an error, but the folder I tried to copy, new folder 2, didn't actually get copied. Only its contents, sub1 and sub2, were copied. When using the cp-r argument on a directory, its behavior changes depending on whether the trailing slash is included or not. Notice in the command I ran, the names of both the folder I was copying, new folder 2, and the folder it was being copied to, new folder 1, had a slash at the end. This was because I used tab completion as I wrote the command, and it includes the trailing slash when it auto-completes directory names. In most cases, whether you include this forward slash or not doesn't matter, but for this command, it does. Including the trailing slash in the name of a directory you plan to copy in a cp-r command will cause only the contents of the specified folder to be copied. The folder itself isn't copied. In contrast, removing the trailing slash will result in copying the folder itself along with the entire tree of subfolders and files underneath that folder. As you might expect, the mv command allows you to move the location of a file or folder, just like you click, drag, and drop it somewhere new when working outside of terminal. Like the cp command, move requires the ordered arguments of what to move, followed by where to move it. However, move doesn't have the same behavior as cp when it comes to moving directories. The default behavior is if you try to move a directory, the folder itself and all of its contents will be moved. There's no need for additional arguments. In addition, the presence or absence of the trailing slash on the directory name to be moved has no effect on the behavior of this command. Here, I've moved the new folder 3 directory inside of new folder 1. The move command can also be used to rename files or directories by simply providing a file or directory name that doesn't yet exist as the second argument. The final command we'll look at in this video is rm, or remove. This command is a way to delete things you don't want. It's important to remember that there is no recycling bin at command line. Treat the rm command as a permanent delete of a file or folder, so use it carefully. rm works on files directly, but like cp, it needs the -r or recursive argument to delete a folder and its contents. Here, I'm deleting the new folder 2 directory along with its contents. Notice the command didn't get applied to the second copy of new folder 2 I previously made and put inside new folder 1, as the relative path I provided only pointed to the new folder 2 in my current working directory. One additional note. Most of the commands we just looked at will accept globs, which are a small set of wildcard characters that can be used to apply commands to multiple files or directories at command line. Have a look at the globbing video for more on how to use those.